What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to this month's special show of Art Meets Life. I am your host, LJ Bowens. Y'all always see me when I'm hosting this wonderful event, but I'm very thankful to be here on this special particular day. So if you're watching right now, thank you guys so much for tuning in. By all means, feel free to share this event to all your friends that's probably sitting at home a little bit, probably still wondering if or if not they need to go out, but you're here for this particular event, and this is the prelude to tomorrow. So I'm very excited about today because today is basically the eve of my book release for a book known as 310. And I'm going to talk more about that later, but I'm excited about this book because it's been 2 years in the making. I got a whole story about that, and I'll tell you about that, how it came to be, and the person that ended up talking me into kind of doing this book, but that's a whole nother story. But I do want to thank you guys so much for tuning into this wonderful event. So with this event, normally it's an open mic, and what we do is we have a feature and we do a Q&A with the feature before the feature does everything. But this is particularly special because I guess somewhat I'm the feature because it's me talking about my book, but I wanted to have some special friends be along for the ride and rock out some of their dope poetry, because not only are they dope poets, they're dope authors as well. And I definitely hope they tell you about their books too. So that way, not only supporting me, supporting them as well, and following them on all the social media they do and everything that they do, not only in their communities, but in the world at large. So, but if you are enjoying this event, by all means, hit the like, share the event. We want you guys to get in tune with it. And then also what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of give y'all a few quick tidbits. So tonight, it's the 2nd, but of course the book comes out tomorrow on October 3rd. If you look at that reverse, that's 310. So in Fayetteville, what we're doing tomorrow is we're doing our actual official book release, book signing tomorrow at the Sweet Palette, which is in downtown Fayetteville. So if you are in the Fayetteville area, please come downtown, grab you a copy of the book. Once again, there's a book release, book signing tomorrow at the Sweet Palette, which is 101 Person Street in downtown Fayetteville, North Carolina. We will be there from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. We will have books available for sale. You can pay by cash, card, Cash App, PayPal. We'll take all that. And of course, if you get there, we have some snacks while they last. So we got a few macaroons there for you guys to grab hold of too as well. If for any reason you cannot make it to the event tomorrow and still want to purchase the book so that way it gets to you, you can go purchase the book here at the wonderful website, which is poetryinmotionnc.vistaprintdigital.com. There you can purchase the book along with any of the other works, but the book will be available after this show ends tonight at that website. So you can go to that website. As soon as you go to the store page, you'll see a big picture of the cover. Click on the cover, shows you how you purchase it, all that good stuff as well. So once again, you can purchase the book now after this event at poetryinmotionnc.vistaprintdigital.com. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and quit talking, and I'm going to bring up our first special guest. But I do want to give a shout out to one guest that was supposed to be on here, but she had to do an event for the city. Her name is Yolanda A. Barnes, aka Yogi with 2 eyes. She's the person that designed the awesome flyer. She's a phenomenal author as well. She has a dope book out called Why Aren't You Listening? And I definitely want to give her a shout out because she's done so much for the community. Definitely one of the people I also talked to about this book and the idea when it was coming to fruition. And I was definitely thankful to get her input along with her wanting to be a part of this and putting together the flyer. So I'm going to quit talking because we're going to bring up our first guest. This first guest is coming all the way from South Carolina. This is a near and dear brother to me. I met him many years ago as my friend Dennis would say, many moons. And thankful to have him in my life. Thankful to have all the conversation when we talk about events, books, and just anything dealing with the arts. Also, got to thank him because in March he inducted me into the infamous Black on Black Ron family. So I'm definitely glad to have him be a part of this wonderful show as well. So without further ado, our first special guest coming onto this show, please put your hands together for the one and only Third Rail. What is going on, brother? Oh, he just logged. Hold up, where'd you just go? Let's try that again. Third Rail, are you there? Third Rail, are you there? think we just had a small snafu just happen. So we're gonna give him a second to try to come back on. I don't know what just happened with his computer, but things like that happen. So what can we do to burn some time? So what I can tell you guys about is next month then, so we get him back on here. So next month, what we're gonna do is gonna have our anniversary show. So I know you guys been wondering what's been happening along the way. Okay. Third Rail is here. Third Rail, you need to log off and log back in because let me see. Get you back on here. All right, Third Rail, can you say something? Because your mic's muted and we can't hear you. All right, Third Rail, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You ain't got no visual, but we can hear you.
Let's see. Hold on. I don't. There it goes.
All right, cool.
Hey.
Wait, no, what was going
Mur-
on?
Murphy's Law is going on.
Brother, I'm very thankful for you being here, man. I know you're about as busy as I am because we always had a conversations, but for you to take the time real fast and knock out some poems and be a part of this special thing, man, I'm very appreciative of you. Thank you so much, brother.
Oh man, first of all, congratulations on everything. The book, the show, staying steadfast in this poetry thing, man, just making it work, you know. I wasn't there for your chaining, although, you know, we sent Ebony and Moses West down to chain you, right?
Oh, yes,
So,
sir.
you know what I'm saying? I haven't face to face really said, you know what I'm saying, welcome home to Black and Black Wine. So, you know,
Brother,
I'm
thank
doing
you.
that now.
Thank you so much, brother. I love you, man.
You know, man, I love you black. I love you black.
No,
So,
definitely.
let
I'm
me
gonna go ahead
see.
and jump up and let you rock these poems out.
Yeah, I come from a place where the flowers don't bloom, where the grass don't grow, and we drunk by noon. We've grown accustomed to them ghetto days, them glory ways. It's so poetic that you feel what the story says. How could you not feel what I feel as I paint a vivid picture of my life unveiled? This is so real. Put yourself in my shoes. Hear your mother sing the blues while astounded by the news. We paid dues. I put my soul in these poems, and I spit it for the babies when I told you these poems. You see them babies on the corner block that's folding their arms. The ghetto's like a university, and we sold you these dorms. I ain't trying to say your hearsay. I'ma tell you what I know. That's a 10-year-old baby about to sell you that blow. And he come from a place where the nights ain't calm. And them the niggas feel they got a right to bear arm. You can ring the alarm, but the folk never come and the smoke never clears like cheap in song. All right. I got some feedback, so in my ear. Um, peace to the God. Before a lot of feast to the God, I reach for the God. Praying I could speak to the God. I reached for the God. All I seen was life trees and struggle and sweet. I walked through the stifling beat. I'm real with my earth. I think of law for breaking the birth. No longer I thirst. No longer I rehearse for the birth. I'm done with the crime. I'm searching for the sun with the shine. I'm Carolina born, so I don't have New York state of mind, but I build with the gods. And we overstand life at a glance. I'm given the chance to embrace life like a sweet romance. But it's some demons in my path that want to stumble my walk and mumble my talk. So I lay back and I ponder my thought. It's real in the field. My young ones, they be killing for years. I'm done with the tears. I'm looking forward to wonderful years. How the hell you figure I can live my life on the brinks and not say thank you? My life could have been chalk and paint when all that I have. I thank Allah for bringing me that. Fulfilling is that. Of course, the reality rap. They back into that. All I seen was dusty roads that love be told. I can never trade the life that I hold, but selling my soul for the moon left me out in the cold. Now all that I hold is all the thing that mama them told. So I'm facing the east, prepare war with the mark of the beast. Revolutionary minds designed to conquer the weak and stomping my feet on the concrete like I'm rocking the beat. My conscience is deep like the roots of a redwood tree. You wind that back. I ain't mean to blind that cat. He relying on that. That a quick put his paralyzed push back. I spit actual fact. I'm a line of rap. All right. I just want to be able to cross and show that you're not judging.
Brush my head and say, baby, you a black man, and I understand that this world can be ugly, but you stand your ground. And when you're feeling tired and try, you come home and lay your burdens down, baby. I will comfort you. Bust love like, I'm sorry. Let me start that back. I just want to be able to crown your shoulder, you not judging. Brush my head and say, baby, you a black man, and I understand that this world can get ugly, but you stand your ground. And when you're feeling tired and try, you come home and lay your burdens down, baby. I will comfort you. Bust loves like an old school thug when they come for you. I'm talking guns for you. I just need you to be my soldier. My SOULJAH. I'm talking till it's over. Burn this shit till it flames, then slow. This be my rock and my pillow at the same damn time. And when drama finds us home, we bust the same damn knives, baby. I ride for you. I mean, I'm on side of you. Black man, I'm proud of you. I need to hear those words from you. And if I love being army, I proudly serve for you. I'm your general. I'll call cadence to the beat of your heart. But I just need you to do one thing, stay in sync with the beat of my heart, because we are one. And I stand firm on these grounds. You stand firm on these grounds. I raise you up, just hold me down. I'm not a quitter. It's just sometimes I need to rest my head from your shoulder to your legs, baby. I just need to rest my head. This world is heavy, and my every thought is to make it home with you. I'm guilty of driving while black. They said that's wrong to do. They're killing us off during traffic stops. And to be honest, I fear for my life. There's an all-out war on the black men in America. And these devils don't read you no rights. They just shoot. Take your life in front of your seeds. Lay your body on the ground and watch you bleed. Separate your body from your soul and do the same to your brothers. Black lives do not matter to these devilish motherfuckers. Because they kill us for sport, shooting us down like wild game. You our sons and nephews the same. You can't fathom Satan, he's insane. So just let me hold you for a little while longer. For that just in case I don't make it home moment. But no, your man will go down fighting. There's no punk in this component, part of my passion. But more than likely they coming to get me. But I promise you I'm taking a few of them devilish bastards with me. So for now, let's just take this time to embrace our love. Stand face to face with our love. There's no replacing our love. I'll stand for you, you stand for me. There's no shaking in my fold. I'll be resurrected through my seeds 10 times to God, 10 times fold. Peace to the God. Again, brother, congratulations on the book and all that you're doing. You know, I appreciate you.
We got applause going for you, bro. Thank you so much, Third. I appreciate you, man. Like I said, I know you busy. You got an event happening tomorrow, and I know you got to get done prepping for that. But thank you so much for taking the time and being a part, like I said, just being a part of my life in general, brother. I appreciate you tremendously.
Oh, indeed, man. Peace to the God. Bad talk.
Talk back. Talk to you soon, brother. Be safe, all right?
Indeed.
Yes, sir. Once again, that was Third Rail. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. I'm seeing people putting up fire emojis and hand claps. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Yeah, Third Rail. He is the chapter leader for Black on Black Rhyme. Carolina. I was about to say Columbia, but Black on Black Rhyme, Carolina, which I'm happy to be a part of, and I'm thankful for that. Man, I'm excited. Like I'm so excited about this book and excited about all the people that's part of it. Now, this next artist getting ready to come up here and bless us. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The idea for this book would have not came into fruition without this person. And the reason I say that is because oh God, it was about 3 years ago, possibly about 3-4 years ago. No, about 3 years ago, or last year. It was a couple of years ago. I'm gonna go with that. And what me, him, and some other poets in North Carolina do is every April we always get together and we try our best to do a 30 for 30 project collectively together, and all of us write 30 poems. So I had started off with this whole idea because me and my wife, we end up going on a random book date to Barnes and Noble. I ended up buying this book. I think it was 1,000 life hacks or something like that. And I just, for the month of April, I wanted to say, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and write some poems to try to see if I can time the life hacks. And then as soon as I got like a couple in, this person who does what he does best say, hey, you should go ahead and do something with that. Maybe you should turn it into a book. I like that idea. And next thing you know, the book is like here. So This man needs no introduction. Y'all always hear me talk about him. Always give this man praise. But I will say he is one of the OGs in North Carolina poetry, and I'm going to leave it at that because I'm always saying so much about him. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the one and only Dasan Ahanu. What's going on, brother? You muted.
I'm just out here trying to make it, as you can see. Trying to make it, bro.
Man, you got a lot going on though, man. You're part of a reality TV show on YouTube right now about the arts. So I'm definitely excited to see what comes from that. I know you're on one. What team are you on? Which team is it?
Team Black. So the fifth woman is an amazing arts collective out of Knoxville, Tennessee, and they have this show called Behind the Spark that's going on. So shouts out to Rail and Sunshine for pulling it all together. So yeah, you know, let's do something while we in the crib.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm gonna try and like next time I do an event like this and I have you on, I'm gonna get this painting that a friend painted of me for my birthday, and I'm gonna have it behind me, kind of like you had that picture of you with the scarf.
Stop it.
I will leave you be, man. But thank you for being a part of this, brother. I'm gonna go ahead and like dip out, and I'm gonna let you rock out your poems, man. And thank you again for being the main inspiration behind this book.
Man, I'm just happy to see you knock this joint out because I've been waiting for you to do this joint.
I appreciate you, brother. The floor is yours.
All right, cool. Now he gone. This is the part where I just be like, roses are red and violets are blue, and shooby 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 dooby doo. Get my Kanye on out here. Nah. I saw a red dodgeball in an empty sandlot, and I wondered if it was a burial marker for the last bit of melanated wide-eyed. Saw a red dodgeball in an empty sandlot, and I wondered if it was the burial marker for the last bit of melanated wide-eyed wonder not deemed worthy of compassion, understanding, or due process. I paid the boy at the bus stop $20 to use his imagination to dig as far as he could beneath the sand. Now he and I are both standing there, staring at the lot, wondering who should airbrush somebody on our t-shirts first. The city bus pulling up finally disrupted our morning. On the side of it was an ad for almond and soy milk. Funny how dark things are promoted as better for you when they're considered white performing. We both looked at the side of the bus and then at each other. I shook my head, his shoulders slumped. He gave me 2 quarters and a bar of chocolate. I watched the doors close behind him. Now I'm standing here with change, unwrapping candy like I'm trying to resurrect somebody's black child, wondering if I just spent a moment with God, wondering if what I just witnessed was prophecy, debating if it's true that for every lost life, another affirmation of the pain we covered in is born. We sit side by side. Passaged in the middle of this bus, quiet, she wears black. We are strangers. This early morning sun is trying to mediate us comfortable. No words are exchanged. Yogurt mixed and scooped into mouth. Bagel unwrapped and pulled in half. 2 brown bags crumbled in unexpected syncopation. Shoulders slumped in considerate accommodation. We both know strinking for others. Both know a backup singer's harmony. We eat in silence, sit silent. 2 by 2 along the left like comrades with a marching determination. 2 by 2 like Noah's taming obedience. We are a blinded balance who have unfairly judged this moment too awkward to trust. Technology transports us to a post-racial distraction. Bitten apples identify the escapes in our hands and laps. The devil is in the detailed dedication to screens, like we will know all things, like we aren't ignorant to how we have conditioned ourselves to hide. We type silent. Time passes. Our gated communities uninterrupted until a clumsy spill of tea on her white Converse becomes a mocking irony, one her washing machine will try to make invisible, like it never happened. Like new, like make great again. Ironic, isn't it? How privilege teaches its own to do the same. A ritualistic separation heightened with bleached ignorance and cold hearts. The bus stops. We arrive at our destination and exit. Silent. Last piece, man. It's kind of wild. I was watching this kind of crazy situation go down, and everybody had all kinds of opinions about it. But as I often do, I went in a different direction when watching it all. So, Dear August, the coming of fall is the prelude to a cold deadening that no one will mourn but the staccato of your heart. I too have given myself as prize, offered myself as sacrifice, promised myself as an answer, compromised myself as barter, all for no more than the hope in her eye. It's funny. I've written about lots of non-famous people in these poems, always wondering if I'm telling too much or if I haven't told enough. How I'm looked at for sharing these stories tells of polygonal romance gone wrong, the pain of navigating all the angles turned sharp edges, the riddle of failed two-dimensional relationships turned tragedy, lovers who took windows and doors as trophies, and a heart that's gotten used to solitary confinement. Each conversation I try to have about my heart turns interview, an inquisitive exploration that finds my faults and possible falters more engaging than my happiness. Joy ain't entertaining enough. Lessons learned ain't enough satisfaction. They think that shame is the reconciliation my optimism needs, humbles its setting, crushes its dreams, lays it under my tears, and tells me to make something out of the mud. Act like I can't craft an empire out of adobe houses. Circle them, ring shout, so each day is still an optimistic and ceremonial celebration where you can't see anything but opportunities to love. Another autumn is a chance to figure out how to tame the frigid of a coming winter night. To avoid a spring where playing chicken with someone's beautiful is a tantalizing challenge for folks who just want to know that risks are possible but do not want to take them. Another summer spent wondering how solstice turned into an awkward independence for folks who refused to see their freedom came and went, who didn't realize that my embrace was a Galveston revelation, but instead chose to listen to their South, tell them that the only fit option was the sharecrop for their insecurities on borrowed land, those who will hold on to your memory and call it holiday, but celebrate it with another man. Only a matter of time before all that's left is another you, August. A harvest time precipice that turns the hopeful into thrill seekers, turns crash landings into testimonies, a wonderfully broken reminder of how to make a stained glass mosaic both blessed and assured, considered to be most things but not considered worthy. There is and always will be a month after July. A truth that some of y'all done became a Black August haiku, a short stay of passion off the tongue of a day seeping escape in an indulgent night. The familiar were telling themselves by the way they judge. Like having worn midnight makes them more of an authority. Some don't know the right thing to say to the healing they ain't finished doing yet. So they make silence seem like a code of honor. That 31 days still gonna come. Nothing they can say will ever make September 1st feel any less like on the other side. Won't make it any less than boot camp for the season ahead. One thing for sure is these poems are not wanted posters. There is no reward for disregard, no seductive bounty rich enough for the return of a thief, no collection of stanzas posse enough to recapture time with a villain. They are markers of a journey to the happy. My dedication to myself has been trying to convince me is more valuable than a fair weather timeshare. Let me tell you how this is going to end. With me finding the answer, ain't nobody going to be able to tell me I shouldn't have had it in the first place. Instead, the talk will have to be all congratulations and side eyes. And I ain't gonna care. I will still see love, still be love, still be loving. The kind that gives so much it feels like an appropriate middle finger. The kind that feels so right, it sounds like quiet in the stands. All right, y'all. Y'all prepare yourselves for LJ up in the building. Okay.
Dasan Ahanu, thank you so much, brother. I know me and my beautiful wife appreciate you for everything you've been doing in the community. I'm excited about this book, man. And like I said, I thank you for it because I really was going to just put this in the vault and not really do nothing with this. But
this is too good for you to put in the vault.
I appreciate that, man. Real quick, because I know Third Rail got off and I couldn't even ask him because I was like so hyped for the event.
I'm Dasan Ahanu
you,
across all social media. And the website, of course, is DasanAhanu.com, DasanAhanu.com.
All right. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. We'll be getting up with you real soon, man, about the next event. All right. Be safe, bro. So, wow. So thank you so much to Dasan Ahanu and Third Rail Poet for being such blessings on being a part of this wonderful, wonderful show. So this is the part of the show where we do the Q&A with the feature. So I did not want to be egotistical and do a Q&A on myself with myself because that would be very weird. So what I decided to do was I decided to get a guest moderator on our show. And this guest moderator happens to be probably one of the people that knows me best. And to the point where I don't even know what she's going to ask me. She did not tell me none of the questions so that way I can get prepared. So we will see what happens. Other than that, your guest moderator for tonight, she is a fantastic woman. She is not only a woman that wears many hats, and I'm not going to get into everything that she do. This is my backbone, my rib, and all that good stuff. The boss lady, Miss Monica Haynes Bowens. Woo!
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. It is my privilege and honor to be here to do this. And you're nervous. I can see it in your face.
I am right now. Like I feel like doing jokes right now, but I'm not. So I'm gonna try to look at the camera, try to look at my wife. And we're going to try our best to be as professional as possible because I know us. So without further ado, now you in control now.
Yeah, I prepare questions in advance so we can be professional and keep it classy.
Yes.
So we're going to start with icebreakers because you normally start with icebreakers when you do this at the Sweet Palette. So you ready?
No.
Okay, get ready real quick.
I'm trying.
Take a breath. In and out. Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay.
You're good. So what was your first experience where you learned that language had power?
Oh, man. Wow, that is a good question. I've never had nobody ask me that. I think the first time I understood, and I'm probably paraphrasing this question, when language had power was probably when I started standing up for myself. My brother used to beat me up when I was young, or pick me up when I was younger. And I don't say beat me up, bully, because big brothers always do that. And I think my brother, more than anything, did things not only just to pick me, but he tried to make me a little bit tougher. Especially growing up where we grew up in Detroit, Michigan, then moving to Lima, Ohio. I think just at one point my brother messed with me one day, and then I was just like, enough's enough, and told him to stop, and end up chasing him around with foreign weapons. And I think that's kind of what got the message across. I mean, I know the words were more so the power, not so much the weapon.
Okay.
I think it was like a plastic baseball bat maybe when I was younger, but
you felt the word was stronger.
Yeah, the words were stronger, like saying stop. So I think that's what got me to that point of knowing that my words were power, because I started standing up for myself, and then everything else from there was good to go.
Awesome. That's a very interesting situation that happened.
Yeah, it actually was. I don't even know why I made you write that question down.
I have a lot of interesting questions.
I'm gonna have to put that question on my list. Go ahead.
Okay. As a writer, what would you choose as your mascot, avatar, or spirit animal?
As a writer, what would be my mascot, avatar or spirit animal? I would probably say,
I have a few ideas, but I want to see what you say.
Oh God, it's so many. One would be a lion if I could. I mean, it's the whole Leo thing, and that's me being me. So it's the whole Leo thing. I think another one would be Spider-Man, because Spider-Man is like the epitome of trying to do a million things at once, trying to save people and do the good thing, and at the same time balance a day job and bills. So it's like do what you love, and also try to do what's going to pay the bills. So that would definitely be an avatar. regardless of what everybody say Batman, because I just love Batman for like always trying to learn something new to add to his arsenal of what he knows already, and just building that toolbox in order to do certain things, or just have a way of thinking for any situation. So if he finds himself in a situation, he thinks back to something he went through or learned. So that, and Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, because Vegeta's just always been, I can say, kick ass, but I know his way of starting off, he was a bad guy, but then he ended up having a redemption arc. And I think that at some points we all turn out to be bad guys at some point, even when it comes to our writing, because of egos kick in, you forget the purpose of why you do certain stuff. But then he got his redemption through other things. So yeah, those would be my mascots.
Do you feel that you go back and forth with each of them when you're writing?
Each and every time I write, yes.
Okay.
All the time.
So you have a battle going on.
I always have a battle. Yes, it's
Okay.
always a battle. It's always a battle. So.
Okay. So, what is your writing kryptonite? These are just the icebreaker questions.
Complacency. I think I get complacent sometimes. Like I don't even say that. Distracted. I get distracted a lot. I'll start a great idea, but then if music come on, I probably jam to the music. If I get hungry, I'll eat, and then I end up doing something else. I try to call myself working with noise, but then sometimes I end up putting on YouTube and hear people talking, and then that messes me up because I don't want to see what happens if there's a fight scene. So I would say just getting distracted easily would be my writing kryptonite. That keeps me from writing what I need to write.
So how do you push through that?
I've been doing better at not having those distractions on and just work through silence, or literally just have like instrumentals playing and I can actually work through instrumentals. So that's what's been getting me through my kryptonite. Okay.
Last icebreaker question.
Go ahead.
What would you say is your writing quirk?
What is my writing quirk? I don't know. It's like I've done. It's like there's so many things that I think I'm used to doing when writing. That's just there. I guess it would probably be the most potential writing quirk would be. I don't really think it's so much a writing quirk. I think it's just more so I'm a researcher. So it's like I think I research more when I'm writing. I think that's, like I said, it's not so much a quirk when I do that, but I think researching also is the thing that helps me with my writing, which became a quirk more than anything. Because for one, I always want to make sure I know what the hell I'm talking about when I'm writing something, especially if I'm using a metaphor, because I don't want to do some strange metaphor that makes no sense or put together a scenario that makes no sense. So I would say just researching. Researching has been one of my biggest writing quirks. As with now, like even stuff that I'm writing now, I always research it to make sure if the idea is there, it's a good idea. Because if the idea don't make sense, I scrap it. Like plain and simple. I can't, you're moderating, so I can't talk about our personal struggles when I bring up ideas and you just look at me. So,
well, I was going to ask, what do you do with the idea? Like, do you ever revisit it later? Do you just kind of get rid of it?
I revisit it, or I get rid of it by giving it to some other people and see if they can do something with it. Because it may not, maybe the idea is just like meant for me to just get at other people because it's not meant for me.
Gotcha. So that was the icebreaker round.
Jesus. I'm sweating already. God. Sweating like I'm in an interrogation room.
Oh, wow. Well, you're known by most people as a spoken word artist, slam poet, slam coach, writing workshop facilitator, motivational speaker. Can you tell us a little bit about LJ, the author? Yes.
So the funny thing is, when I came into the poetry world, or just the world in general, I came in as an author. I didn't come in as no spoken word artist. I didn't come in as a person doing poetry and open mics a lot. I literally came into the world as an author, like as far as like the author sense. So when I actually got back from my deployment, when I was in the military, I came out with a poetry book. So the book came before anything dealing with spoken word came, because I wanted to get the book out because Chief Warrant Officer at the time, my name is Keith Washington, told me I need to put my books on page and write a good book. And I wrote the book when I was deployed, had deployment money, so I went ahead and published it through Author House. Never go through Author House if you publish your books. And I came back and I was like, okay, I had an idea and I was like, now I'm an author. I'm a published author. yeah, then the whole thing hit when it's like, now I got to get these books out because I have no idea what's going on. So, yeah, so that's pretty much what happened. So, that's the author. So the author of LJ has always been the writer. Cause I think I started off as a writer first before doing poetry, and then poetry kind of took a life of its own. But I've always been a writer. Starting off, like the third grade story, everybody knows, and like those books still exist. But it wasn't until like being a published author is what got me into this what I do now. So that's the author LJ. He's always been a writer, always been wanting to create some type of story, and I think that's pretty much the author side. It's hard saying that because I think everybody always know the other aspects of the performer, but when it comes to the writing process and what do I think of as far as writing, I always think in the author mode first before I start thinking like poetry or poetry slam.
And how many books do you have? Is it 4?
This would be okay by myself. This will be number 4. Collectively, I want to say between 3 or 5 because there's chat. Me and you have a chat book that we've done together. I've done a chat book with the Bull City Slam team. I did 2 books with my friend Anika Alexander about doing like erotic poetry. But other than that, I've done. I think this is my 4th book by myself.
Good.
Correction. I'm sorry. This is my second 4 books. This is my second full poetry book out of the 4 because there's 2 books I did that were chat books, so I only had like 10 poems. So
this is the book.
Yeah.
So 310 is a book of a lot of personal poems where you have deep reflections and you talk about some sensitive material, and you've taken this from your own life experiences. So what did you do to prepare yourself emotionally to go on that literary journey?
I think it's been a journey over years of just writing and just letting myself be free to express myself and talk about stuff like that. I think the breakthrough. So it's funny because the breakthrough actually came. It came more so. It started coming in spurts. So 2013 was the start. With a particular poem I'm gonna do tonight. And that's kind of was like letting people a little bit inside of knowing me, but not fully. But I think more so over the years, I started writing a little bit more and exposing myself a little bit more, like the insecurities that I have or just the fears I have. And then 2017, I think is when it really hit the fan because I got fired from a job after almost 10 years of working with them. Like I literally got fired 2 days after Christmas, I think it was. And it was crazy because I think to this day, it's still really, it hit, but it didn't hit because I think it didn't hit as much or it wasn't as impactful because I knew that I was just ready to leave the job, but it was still the fact that I lost my job and I was like, I lost it. But then it wasn't until I guess the next year I had to start worrying about everything else, like going a whole year without working. I mean, all I think I had really to depend on was my art, my poetry, having to think about the fact that my wife was literally taking care of everything. And then I felt at certain points I was a burden on you, on my wife. I know I'm trying to keep you be a moderator, but you're my wife. And I think just the more and more stuff started happening, the more and more I just started writing more about that. And then poems started coming out. And then at a point I was just like, you know what? I feel like I need to share these because at some point poems start off therapeutic, but then sometimes poems become bigger than ourselves. And I felt like some of the stories people will relate to if they hear them. And that's literally like how the poems came to be. And then it was hard. It was hard picking out poems for this book, especially like even now I know some people that got the pre-sale orders of the book would wonder what poems were made in the sense of just getting it out there as aware to certain things as to what poems are real, as to what happened in my life. And I guess it's going to always be one of those questions you either know or you won't know because it's just one of those things, I guess. But yeah, it's been a journey.
Yeah, it's been a real journey.
Personal ones.
So in this book, you did take a lot of life hacks and you paired it with different things that you wrote. How did that go? Like, what did that come about?
That was strenuous as hell because to try to make the life hack make sense with the poem in certain ways was one of the biggest challenges I've done as a writer, because I mean, we always find challenges in writing, but to make a life hack coincide with the poem, even though the poem may have certain ties to life hack, but necessarily doesn't deal with the life hack. I think that was a challenge, but to have it all make sense, in which I think at certain points it was just, some of them were harder than others. Like some, I kind of got the idea. Oh, I know the idea that will go with this.
Right.
Write it. As with some other ones, it was the stretch of trying to find what's the common denominator of making these things connect. And by doing that, I think it made a good reasoning of writing the book. It's like, not only is it like a book of two things, it's like also as a writer, it was a challenge. I wanted to take the challenge to do this. And then just to backtrack with something I alluded to earlier when Dasan was here, it started off as a project for National Poetry Month, just writing 30 poems for 30 days. And I challenged myself for trying to write poems based off life hacks. And then he looked at him and was like, yo, maybe you should like look back at these poems and do a book with it. And I was like, we'll see, whatever, you know. And then I end up having only like a few poems, but then I end up going and adding more, especially after a traumatic experience that happened last year. And then I think that's literally just what birthed it. And then the name, I guess, I don't even know if you have a question for it, but I'll wait to talk about the name of the book and how 310 came to be. But but the book just pretty much was just like, let's make it happen. Like it was just screaming out, make me real. I want to be a real book. So
just to be a real book.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, that's actually my next question. Can you tell us a little bit about your concept with the title?
Oh God. I'm gonna give y'all the short story of the 310. So 310 has literally been around me my whole life. It literally started off at one point where I think for the past, it was a month. No, not even a month. I'm not gonna even exaggerate that far. Maybe like a week and some change. I was literally waking up at 3:10 in the morning. I don't know why. Like every night I would wake up at 3:10 in the morning and I'll be up for a little bit and then go back to bed. And then I woke up one night and I was like, babe, it happened again. I'm waking up at 3:10. I don't know what the hell's going on. Then he was like, well, maybe you need to just take your time and look into it and see what happens. So I literally started looking at Bible verses that dealt with 3:10. And some of them stood out tremendously. You can look it up in Google, Bible verses dealing with 3:10, chapter 3, verse 10. And some stuff is like life-changing. But then it started going a little bit deeper. For example, I was born July 30th. 7 and 3 is 10. My oldest son was born on July 3rd. 7, 3, 10. Not my youngest son, but my Jalen, the middle child, his birthday is April 3rd. 4 plus 3 is 7. Both their birthdays are 3 months apart, 3 years apart. Both were born on the third day. 3:10 when it comes to slam, because I did slam, you have to do your poems within 3 minutes with a 10-second grace period. 3 was the birthday. It was my jersey number in high school for when I played basketball. It's so much more, but that's just like a little bit of the tip of the iceberg of all those things. And that's literally how the title came to be. It was just like 3:10. It stood out. And then also one of my favorite movies, which was actually a remake, 3:10 to Yuma. Like I love that movie, especially like the redemption arc, everything that was going through that movie. So yeah, 3:10. That's how literally the title 3:10 came to be.
That title means a lot.
It's a lot. It has so many meanings. And they're my angel numbers. So that's a whole nother, like I said, it's a lot with the title. So multiple meanings.
Okay. Well, everyone knows that my favorite poem of yours is Left Right.
Yes.
And it's included in the book.
Yeah, it is. Finally, y'all have this poem on paper. It's finally on paper in the book.
If you love Left Right, get this book. Do you have a favorite poem that's in that book?
God, I have a couple. One I want to do tonight, dealing with highlighters, is one of my favorites, personal favorites. One talking about when you have a conversation, as what do you like to do instead of what you do. It's a couple of them. Some of the 6-word stories that are in here. There's one dealing with I'm not gonna get too much into it, but if you get this book, and for the people that do get it, they would know this poem when I say it. There is one particular poem that talks about how to free yourself when you're duct tape. And I think that's one that's a personal favorite because it's something I had to it's something I had to get out of my system to finally talk about. And I'm not gonna get too much into it, but it's definitely a poem that definitely resonates a lot more because it deals with what I was talking about earlier, like starting to let out some of the personal stories, and of course, left, right, left. I mean, the poem that will never go away, and that's not a bad thing. It's just it would never go away. So,
it's my favorite. It's just awesome. It's powerful.
It is, and I had to learn to deal with it because I got tired of so many people wanting to hear it, but then the poem was bigger than me, and I'm thankful for it. So,
yeah, it's helped a lot of people.
It has,
opened some doors too.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So this question, I'm going to read it because I don't want to miss anything. Many writers pull their material and motivation from experiencing the world around them. Many poems and other styles of writing are like a response to internal and external stimuli, reflective and personal, often forcing the writer to really look deep inside of themselves. What was one of the most surprising things you learned about yourself while writing this book?
Real quick, I think I'm going to hire Monica to do all my Q&As from here on out for all my shows because you're just like so awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm nervous. But...
gotta put you on a retainer. I guess the thing I learned about myself is I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot, and even with this book, there's still so many stories I'm not telling. But I've been through a lot, and I think with all of the horror stories of some things that I've been through, I think I've learned to love myself and just make sure I'm becoming a better person and not like repeat old habits. Do not live through the sins of the father. Try my best to remain true and honest to myself and the people around me, and just think just the creativity. Because like I said, like this is a daunting task to try to tie poems to life hacks. It's a daunting task, but I think just being creative and just trying to push myself, I think that was one of the things I learned a lot more than anything, because at some point as a writer, you kind of think you hit your peak. And I've always told myself to never try to find that, like always try to find a new ceiling to break through. And I think this was one of those things, a ceiling to break through. So it helped me learn about myself.
Okay, so it helped you to kind of cleanse a little bit emotionally, maybe spiritually, mentally. Get some things off your chest.
Yes, I'm sorry, I had water.
While drinking water.
While drinking water. It was cleansing while drinking water,
cleansing,
yes.
Yeah. So that does sound like it would be challenging. What else do you feel is the most difficult part of writing?
Making sure the material is true to the reason why I wrote it. I don't ever want to put out no false narrative on anything I write. I want it to be an absolute truth. So I mean, some things are based off the perception of how you look at things, but I think with everything I've been writing, more so years later than when I first started, it's just making sure that the writing is authentic. I mean, one of my brothers says it best, or two of my brothers says it best. I Shine and LB, remember why you wrote it. Like that's the whole point. And I do my best to make sure none of these things are tainted. So that's the biggest thing.
Okay. So if you could tell your younger writing self anything, what would it be?
Don't draw stick figures when you write third grade books, because the stick figures were just horrible. No. If it's anything I would tell my third grade self, you know what? At this point, it's just my third grade self and my younger self.
Well, it just says your younger self.
I think as a writer, I think it's hard to say because I think everything happens for a reason. I think if it was anything of like, I would say, just keep pushing hard on the creativity. And regardless of what happens in your life, don't stop writing, because I think at one point I stopped writing. Like I literally stopped writing, and then it took a minute to pick it back up. So I wonder where would I be now had I continued like writing without breaks. So that's like always going to be one of those thoughts. And by all means, audience, please don't get it twisted. I feel like I'm doing a lot and I still have a lot more to give. But it's just one of those things. It just makes you think, had I not stopped at this point, where would my writing have been now had I not stopped at this time of my life? So I will tell my younger self, just keep writing.
Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
That's very great advice.
You think so?
I do. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We are trying very hard. I'm trying very hard not to joke with my wife right now.
So 310 is a very different book from all of your other books. Can we expect more like this in the future?
Yes. There is 2 projects that I'm working on right now. I can't say when they're gonna. I could tell you when they're gonna come out, but for the most part. So here's the funny thing: the books are already, like, literally, they're already done. I don't need to add nothing else to them. They're already done. They just need to go through editing. But I've had this process in my mind to drop something every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So where that ends up in the chain, I guess the next book will come out to 2022 technically. Okay. Because and the reason I do that is because I always want to give each book a year and a half to breathe before I start wrapping back up saying we need to do this. And I'm looking at these comments right now. And more projects. Okay, so another one you know about already, but I'm not gonna go into it. But yeah, there's more projects that's on the horizon. I would one day love to do a collaborative effort with other artists and try to find out a way where we can do like this big book of like a big poem, like a big collection of poems, like me and maybe 5 different poets I love and respect, and turn it into something. I don't know what, but that would be a dope idea. Kind of be like a Carolina takeover book. I don't know. It would be dope. So
that would be.
But I always got ideas and projects. As far as books, there are two that are done. Like one, I'll go ahead and tell you the name of it now because I know the name of it. It's going to be called Blurred Lines, the DC Marvel Extended Director's Cut. So I can tell you that now. And I know literally it's going to be 60 poems in that because they're done already. They wrote themselves. So, and the other one is going to be dope as well. So, yeah, just be on the lookout, guys. Hopefully, if something changes, we'll get them out sooner. But, just know that the next book ain't coming out to 2022.
So you mentioned it earlier, but how can people get a copy of this book?
I am glad you said that. So I'm going to talk it up real quick. So tomorrow, if you are in Fayetteville, I'm actually doing a book release, book signing tomorrow in Fayetteville. You can actually grab the book there at Sweet Palette if you're in Fayetteville, 101 Person Street in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Be there from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. So it's a book signing. I know a lot of people are wondering if I'm going to be performing poems. I do not plan to perform nothing from here, but who knows? That may change, but I don't plan on performing nothing from there. But if you cannot make it to that event and you want to go and buy the book like literally right now, you can go to our website, poetryemotionnc.vistaprintdigital.com. Go to the store. There will be a big picture on there. You can click the link and you can order a book right now. We'll send that to you ASAP. So the book comes out literally at midnight, but you can order the book now and it'll come to you, soon. So yeah, that's where you can get the book.
So my very last question, you asked all of your guests on the show this. How can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. You can look on Facebook, you can look me up at EL_JA Bowens, like it's right there. And you can find me on Facebook that way. On Instagram and Twitter, you can find me at ELJA Poetry, all one word, the @ ELJA Poetry.
Awesome.
And I guess this would be the point where you ask the audience got any questions, I guess, if they want to.
Sure. Audience, do you have any questions for LJ about the book or anything that he has coming up?
If not, I'm going to get to reading some of these wonderful words.
And I can't see.
Oh, they're like right there. I know a lot of people say, yeah, great. I'm going to do this. People say, great questions. Oh, there is a question. Right here. What's this? In the foreword intro to 310, you say that some of the pieces are fiction. How much do your experiences influence your fictional pieces? That's a very good question. Thank you for that question, Aaron. I appreciate that. So some of it is it influences a lot. There may be like one beginning topic, but then there may be some stuff that's reworked because of course some stuff I just don't want to get into just yet because that's stuff I'm still working through on a personal level. But a little bit of the stuff that happens in fictional pieces is based off of real experience. So even if it's not by me, from somebody I personally know, or just stories that I've come across in my many travels in life. So yeah, like real life does influence some fictional pieces, and if it's a piece dealing with me, then definitely I'll always let it be known if it's like literally a poem strictly about me. But a lot of some of the fictional pieces, it is based on either like something I went through, and then just change some of the narrative of it, or people I know, or stories I've been around.
Thank you, Aaron, for that question.
I think that's it, babe, for the questions, I guess.
Looks like it. Well, again, thank you so much for this opportunity. It's been a pleasure.
I appreciate you so much.
I'm gonna try to back up without being noisy.
Thank you so much, baby. All right, thank you guys so much. Did you want to do an introduction, or I just go ahead and start reading?
Oh, so ladies and gentlemen, the person you have been waiting for all night, Mr. LeJuane Jermaine Bowens.
We called
Yes.
called out my government. She called out my government. Oh wow. I love that woman. Thank you so much, Monica. I appreciate you. All right, guys. So yeah, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna read y'all a few excerpts from the book. There's a lot of great things in here, and I'm definitely thankful to share with y'all some of these poems. So some of these poems I will give a backstory to. Some of them the life hack will explain itself. So what I'm going to do is I will read the life hack and then go right into the poem, so that way you can visualize the life hack and go from there. So without further ado, 310 comes out tomorrow. Actually comes out at midnight, and I'm very excited to be sharing this book with you guys. So yeah, y'all know the story about 310 because I just got to explain it. So we're going to go ahead and read. So I apologize if I'll be looking down on a book. I apologize if I see all these Post-its. I had to pick out certain poems I wanted to read from, I think, the 27 poems I got in here maybe. So yeah. So this first poem is actually the introduction, but the life hack is completely... This isn't a real life. If this is a life hack, I made up this life hack. This life hack does not exist in any book or anything. This is just a life hack I made for myself. When life needs guidance, pay attention to movies, Bible verses, numbers, and divine intervention. I find myself waking up at 3:10. There must be a life hack within this awakening. Maybe there's a metaphor lurking in the minutes. A movie reference to fast tracking towards a Yuma before its train leaves. A Bible reference that I should be guiding my fingers across to then clench and hold on to every word I grasp. Or maybe, just maybe, these are just numbers telling me to let go. Remove the anchors that are holding me back from setting sail to where I need to be. Let's see where this leads us. Taking 310 steps at a time at 3:10. Yay, that's the first poem. Thank you, I appreciate it. Got applause. So that's the introductory poem. And like I said, it's, I wrote that based off. So like when I was writing the book, I was like, I need a poem. There's like a lead into the whole book, and then the life hack. It literally is based off, like I was telling you guys during the Q&A. Like all those things kind of led up to that. So this one is about a personal poem, and I think it makes sense when you hear it. And the life hack, this is now every life hack that comes from this is a true life hack. Like the first one's a true life hack, but these are life hacks that you can find anywhere. But they definitely work out, especially when you're going through a real life situation with other people or stuff within yourself. So, life hack. When meeting someone for the first time, ask them what they like to do rather than what they do. It'll get them excited and make for better conversation. No, I'm not done yet. That was a life hack. That was a life hack. I didn't know. I thought you. Oh man, that was funny. I love you. So I will start that back up. It's fine, man. When meeting someone for the first time, ask them what they like to do rather than what they do. It'll get them excited and make for better conversation. I fell in love with you after our first real conversation. There lied truth wrapped in the elegance of strength still finding its way out of a shy mouth. The more you spoke, the more you began to see yourself grow. A sequoia seed of confidence beginning to let your branches come closer to touching God. And isn't that how it always begins? To slowly come into your own while battling the seasons of life, to go through deadly winters of neglect, but find out that the warm spring was waiting to engulf you into its arms. The day I asked you what you like to do, you replied with youthful glee and wonderment, to live this life as best as I can, to have no regrets, and to make sure that love will always be waiting for someone whenever and wherever they need it. You see, the funny thing about meeting yourself for the first time is that when you get the chance to ask yourself a question, always ask what you like to do instead of what do you do. You'll get a better conversation when talking about what you love rather than what you're still contemplating on putting up with. Thank you. Hope y'all enjoying yourselves so far. Oh, man. All right. So preface to this next poem. So when I wrote this next poem, I literally based this on the concept of people, predominantly some of my own, who have the most woke mindset of being woke, and yet sometimes they, in their wokeness, contradict a lot of the things that they talk about. Some of that can deal with how they look at women presenting themselves. Some of them can be misogynistic as hell. And sometimes people just get so caught up in this whole thing of being woke that they don't know what the hell they talk about sometimes or research it. So this is based off of that. Life hack. One way to increase your brain power is to get the right amount of sleep. Ray Rice was a black man unfairly victimized for domestic violence because the white devils do not victimize themselves when they do it. Forget the black woman he drug off the elevator. Nicki Minaj doesn't respect herself as a queen. Anaconda's cover is no way how a woman should show herself. Plus, it keeps me from focusing on what I was watching on Pornhub. We need to fight for more unity in the black community and stand together like the Black Panthers before us. Wakanda forever. This country has never had us in its best interest. After all, what's an American apple pie to a bean pie, brother? Take away this white man's name of James. My name is Al Shabazz, Malcolm Luther King, Davis, Abdullah Oblongata. You see, the problem with those who claim to be woke is that when their insomnia kicks in, they lack the focus to concentrate on what the hell they're saying. Thank you. Woke people.
Woke people.
Woke people. So, I hope you guys are enjoying yourself so far. Let me take a drink of this water real quick. Man, so life kind of deals you some unexpected things, some unexpected hurdles with a lot of things that's going on. And one thing that I came into is like sometimes we're always trying to find certain things to get us through that door that we're looking for. Sometimes that joy being something happy, sometimes that joy being something purposeful. But depending on life, it's hard for us to find those things. Now, I also want to point out too that I am purposely reading y'all some short poems, so that way when y'all get the book, the longer poems that are the longer poems are the ones y'all need to look out for. And that's what I'm not going to get to tonight for particular reasons that I mentioned earlier. So this next poem deals with keys, and as always, life hack. Use different nail polish to identify different keys. She paints her keys. Each color means something. For example, red means anger. That key is reserved for a dad who refused his home. The blue key, it belongs to depression. She visits constantly that domain more than any other she has. Yet, she can never find the key that will unlock her joy. So until then, she paints her keys. Each color means something. Wishing that there could be one color that could open a door to her salvation. Thank you. All right. So we have 3 more poems to go, guys. I hope y'all are enjoying these excerpts that I'm giving y'all right now. All right. So there's a reoccurring theme in my life that will always be here. The fact that I'm a black man in America now will always be looked at as the enemy for some people. And this particular poem, and I can tell a lot of people this. So this is another little quick poem, but this particular poem actually, the life hack inspired me to write this particular poem because this is something I thought when I was younger, with everything that was going on dealing with racism, the neighborhood I stayed in when I was younger, when I first moved to Ohio from Michigan, and it was hard thinking this way. And then also the inspiration came from seeing a play rendition of Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye. So this just made sense to write this poem. Life hack. Use a highlighter to remove permanent marker stains off of your body. Boy wakes up. Boy goes to mirror. Boy sees dark skin. Boy sees dark skin as an error. Boy begins to question why he had to be born with it. Boy sees dark skin as a curse. Sees it as nothing more than what it may be worth, that being nothing. That being what the dark represents. Nothing. Boy remembers having a highlighter. Boy sees this as an opportunity. Boy remembers that highlighters can remove permanent marker stains from the body. Boy thinks that his skin is just that, a permanent stain that needs to be eradicated aggressively. Boy scribbles away. Boy thinks this is what it will take to be different. Thinks that the best way to be better is to erase the mistake and start over from scratch. Boy sees that there is no change. Sees that no matter what you do to cover up your identity, identity will not let you escape who and what you are. Boy cries. Boy lays back down. Boy wonders if he should just stop thinking and just let his thoughts fade away to black. Thank you for the applause. This is nice. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, guys. 2 more poems. If you guys are enjoying, like I said, please feel free especially if you're not in town. Go to the website, purchase the book, and definitely grab you guys a copy. I'll definitely let them mail you guys one. Autographed, of course. Definitely grab you guys one. 2 more poems, and then we will be out of your hair. This one kind of doesn't really need no explanation, but it just really, I'll just really say, like, a lot of us got baggage. I have baggage, you have baggage, everybody has baggage. What you do with that baggage is solely up to what you decide to do with that baggage. Life hack. Tie a piece of bright color fabric to your baggage. It saves a lot of time to check if it's your bag or not. We all have baggage that we want to pass off to others. I, for one, used to do this as if it was charity. Gave excuses of inadequacy to the many women who wanted affection. Gave reasons of failure to a face that I inherited from my mother. I felt no need to claim what I felt was not my property until I realized that my son's eyes latched onto my actions like Velcro. And the more he watches, the more it becomes religion, especially when a young mind takes the vision of his hero and applies it to his own teachings. I learned a lot within the time of preoccupying my mind at this baggage claim that I've created. So much so that I see my baggage with a yellow string of fear tied to it. That way, I know that without a doubt, I do not need to check to see if it is mine. Thank you. All right, guys. So this is the last poem coming up from the 310 book. And I'm very thankful for y'all doing this virtual celebration of this book. I truly hope that you guys have enjoyed the night. So I'm going to do this poem. I'm going to give a few more announcements after this poem, and then we're going to wrap up this wonderful show. So it's funny because I forgot the life hack I gave this poem. That's why I had to look back at it. It was only right I put this poem in here because I felt that this poem been building up to this moment because everybody's always been wondering when it was going to be on paper, when it was going to be put into like a spoken word CD or anything like that. But I felt that this was the perfect book to put this poem in. Life hack. Learn to express your feelings. Left. Left. Right. Left, right, left. They say to always practice your cadence because practice makes perfect. Left. Left behind a lot of things to get to where I am. Right. Right. Choices is what I thought were being made as people's eyes transform into escalators because they can't seem to make less stairs. Left. Father said the military could turn boys into men. Right. But never fully explain how some paths can come to the end of the road. Left, right. Father knew this cadence very well. Once was a decorated soldier who now became a shell-shocked replica of his past. So these steps are now embedded in his brain. The voices that are now starting to climb up his vertebrae are telling him the best way to hide from his problems is to run. So he left, right, left a son wanting to go overseas to fight the war just to come right back when the war is over. But when you're exposed to the same BS as your father, how do you expect not to have a mindset to match? Left the old me 1,000 miles back in the dirt, right to be back in my own country. Now living in the dirt. Left a war-torn country with patriotism as my job, right to patriotism becoming a painful reminder that it may not get you a job once it is done with you. Right to a bottle to drink away my sorrow. Left with the empty bottle to remind me of promises and commitments unfulfilled. Excuse my forgetfulness. Seems that my mind is starting to leave me like all of my family has. Now I'm left without a pot to piss in, right into my own clothing. Can't be pissed off if I'm pissed on, right, left with medals of merit. But nothing is right when these medals don't get you an app, I swear. If I can afford a smartphone, that may be my best way to keep my hands on a lot of them. Left standing in the road asking for change, right in front of you standing in the road with my hands out asking you for change. Excuse me, is your name Isaac Hayes? Because your song must be playing in the background if you think you can just walk on by. Left fighting wars I can no longer win when my right to freedom of speech seems null and void. Why put a price on truth if people choose they can't afford to pay attention? So what is there left to do when everything you love and fought hard for has turned its back on you? You pray that death is right around the corner because it can come so easy. Left. Left, right, left, right, left. They say to always practice your cadence because practice makes perfect, especially when there's nothing left. Right? Left. Whew.
Woo! Give it up for your feature, LJ.
I love you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of our show. I'm definitely thankful for the people that tuned in. Trying to put some of y'all comments up here. I couldn't put y'all comments up here because I was reading from the book and everything. I appreciate y'all so much. It means a lot for y'all to tune in and be a part of this. So once again, for everybody that's tuned in or may look back at this, book comes out tomorrow. But if you want to order yourself a book now, if you want to order a copy of 310, you can go to that website down there. poetryinmotionnc.vistaprintdigital.com, and you can go order a book right now. If you guys are in Fayetteville and want to get you a signed copy, we have a book release tomorrow and book signing for the book tomorrow at the Sweet Palette at 101 Persa Street in Fayetteville, North Carolina. We will be there from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Please come. It is a socially distanced event, so when you are in there, you will have to wear a mask. When you come inside, we will have seats socially distanced. There will be snacks there, limited supply. Get them while they're there. There will not be any other snacks after that. But definitely come through. We may do something. Like I said, I don't plan on performing. We may do another kind of Q&A or something. We can ask about the process of creating this book. But definitely come out tomorrow and enjoy and everything. So I definitely want to give a thanks one more time to Mr. Third Rail coming all the way from Columbia, South Carolina. I also want to thank Dasan Ahanu coming in all the way from Durham, North Carolina. And also special guest moderator, my wonderful wife, the boss lady, Monica Haynes Bowens, for asking those damn questions, because those questions were very awesome. And they're definitely made me think. So I will be adapting these questions to our format, and she will get credit for that. I will make sure. So other than that, guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in. We will see y'all next month for Art Meets Life. But if you guys are in Fayetteville, come out tomorrow for the book signing. I'm gonna be downtown. It's free to come in, but you gotta book. You gotta purchase a book if you're trying to get a book. The books are not free. Definitely come grab you a copy, guys. Thank y'all so much. I love y'all, and always remember purpose over popularity. Take care, guys, and I think that's all I got. You got any final words? You want to lead the crowd? Woo! All right, guys, take care. We'll see y'all tomorrow if you're in Fayetteville for the book signing. If not, y'all take care. Purpose over popularity. Peace.